Hey friends, and welcome back to another Remnant 2 video. Today we are talking all about the crop sample, which you probably came across this quest item in your one-shot in the Detritus Foundry. However, this injectable can spawn in any one of these tower type dungeons. The ones in Naruud that have the long winding bridges, that's the type of dungeon you're looking for if you already re-rolled your one-shot. And in fact, I'm going to be showing you all 4 different ways that you can use this crop sample. So you're going to need to re-roll your adventure that many times in order to complete everything. So that's why I'm reminding you that you do not need to be in the DLC story. You just need to have a Naruud adventure rolled. So if you're looking for something else and you want to roll a regular storyline, you can do that. However, you need to look for this injectable in one of those tower type dungeons. So hopefully that helps you know what to look for. There are 2 options for the crop sample in the same injectable, and then the other 2 you're going to need to bring it back to Ward 13. So let's first talk about the 2 options in the same area. So when you're still in the same dungeon, you're going to pick up the crop sample from the middle area there. There's a few enemies you have to fight, but once you pick up the crop sample, you're going to want to go and find the closest elevator within that little circle. And you're going to take this elevator down to the bottom here, and you'll find an area with a couple statues. And there's kind of like a red evil looking statue and then like a clean green / blue looking statue. So those are your 2 options. You're also going to find the quantum memory amulet down here. This is a set corpse drop and there's a little lore. The quantum memory amulet says combat slide reloads currently equipped firearm. Perfect dodge combat slide reloads both firearms. So that could be good on a little range build. But like I said, you're going to have both options here, the red one or the blue one. We went with the red one first on stream, which is why you can see my lovely potato face. And and then you just need to go out of the dungeon and come back in, save at a checkpoint somewhere so that it refreshes the instance. So that when you come back in and you're going to take the elevator down to go back to that area, and we chose the red side, so when you come back in and you get close to that side, you're going to spawn in an aberration called Inverted Shambler. We are in shambles. And then once you kill this aberration, it's going to drop the Mutator Repercussion, which this mutator says each enemy hit by primary fire grants 1 stack of repercussion, increasing range damage by 3%, which that number increases as you level it up. Per stack, max 5 stacks. Shots consume stacks. And then at level 10, it increases this weapon's critical chance by 3% per stack of repercussion. So this is a really good range mutator that is definitely top of the list. All right, next up, we are going to put the crop sample in the blue side. So in order to do this in your own game, you're going to need to re-roll the adventure. So you want a new either DLC or Naruud adventure, whatever's easiest for you to find the dungeons. Sometimes the base storylines are a little bit easier, but it depends on what you're used to. But we're going to grab the crop sample again in this second reroll. We're going to go down the elevator and plant it, but this time we're planting it on the blue side. Now all we have to do is go save at a checkpoint and come back. And you can see that there's a purple dot on the minimap, so we know it's ready. We're going to go down the elevator and go check it out. You can see we've got a relic sitting there for us to grab on the blue side. This is the Gossamer heart relic. This is one of 2 relics, I believe, in this DLC. The Gossamer heart gives you innate base evade window frames increased by 1. On use, increases evade window bonus frames by additional 2 for 15 seconds. So those are the 2 options you can complete in the dungeon with the crop sample. However, the third item, you're going to be bringing it back to Ward 13. So you need to re-roll another adventure, find the crop sample for the 3rd time, and then bring that crop sample back to Ward 13 and give it to Duane the cook. He's going to make you a little something with it. Of course, just like the meat shake, it's going to take a little bit of time. This one, however, was not too bad. I just kept spamming, hey, is it ready yet? And eventually he gave it to us. We didn't go anywhere else. We didn't leave the ward. We didn't go fight a boss. We didn't do anything, but I just kind of stood there and waited. So this one definitely doesn't take as much time. Also, make sure you don't miss it because he put it in my inventory. It just showed up really small on the left hand side there. But this concoction is called the Numbing agent, which it looks amazing, by the way. but it increases the hits that can be taken before losing gray health by 1, lasts 60 minutes, and stays effect after death. So it's similar to the Medic's perk, so you could compound it that way and make sure you're not going to lose gray health when you get hit. Now, if you also have all of his other concoctions, if you've made the meat shake and the egg drink, which I have guides on my channel for both of those, then he's also going to give you the chef's medal. Now this chef medal is an amulet that says on perfect dodge, automatically trigger effects that require relic use to activate. Now that sounds incredible and probably something that people are going to make builds with, where it's going to be triggering effects that require relic use, especially if you can get the legendary fragment that makes all your dodges perfect dodges. That could be really potent. All right, so finally, let's talk about the fourth thing you can do with the crop sample. Now, this is going to require every single DLC. So if you have all 3, then you'll be able to get this done. Now, you may already have the root in Ward 13. And if you want to check for it, it's over here in the corner. However, if you don't have it in your Ward 13 yet, you can go and grab the Profane Soulstone from the Infested Abyss dungeon. You're going to have to find this random dungeon in a Geisha adventure role. As long as you have the DLC, it has a chance to pop up in any of the storylines, and it's a dungeon where you have to destroy the 3 root nexuses to progress. I have a video up on my channel on how to get the Profane Soulstone and cleanse it to get the Soulstone, which is one of the necklaces I've been wearing actually in this DLC for a build I'm running. However, when you get to this NPC towards the end, it's actually above the small checkpoint. You're going to run up and talk to this guy. You don't want to fight him, you want to submit. So whatever you do, just say, I agree, I submit, yes, your king, whatever he wants you to say, and you're going to get the Profane Soulstone. So I got scrap because I already have it, and as long as you have acquired that, you should get the root to spawn in Ward 13. The next quest step is going to take place in the One True King DLC, so make sure you roll that DLC. You're going to want to progress the campaign up until you meet the king for the first time. You want to make sure not to fight him right away. You want him to ask you to go kill Numbing so that he gives you the Rod of Retribution. So just make sure you agree with him, you want to work for him, you want to do anything that he wants. And then after you get that Rod of Retribution, you're going to head over to Numbing, which I have a video on my channel on how to find her if you're having trouble. But you're going to head over to Numbing and you're going to tell her the king's plans. And at the very end, she's going to give you a chance to either kill her or spare her. You need to spare her. So whenever she gives you the option to, you're going to want to say, you win, I hope I don't regret this, spare Numbing, and she's going to give you Numbing's vow. So once you get Numbing's vow, you're going to go back to the king and tell him that you saved Numbing, you said, no, the lady, it was the right thing to do, I freed her, and he's going to get really mad and want to fight you, and this will trigger the boss fight. Kill him any way you want, and at the end, after he is dead, you're going to get Numbing's blood marred vow. Now, of course, you could go back to her, but we're using this for the crop sample. We're going to take this item and the crop sample back to Ward 13. So here's what that looks like. I did it without wearing anything special. I don't have any specific armor, weapons, classes, etc. on. I've heard a lot of different things, but I did not have to wear anything in order to trigger this dialogue. So we put the crop sample in first here, and then we put the blood marred vow in as well in those 2 different spots, and then you'll be able to understand the root and it's a guy from the Infested Abyss, and you'll get some dialogue from him, and you should get the Cessation Bulbel amulet. However, it didn't work for us right away, and this is another issue with co-op. If you're doing this puzzle in co-op, you need to make sure that everybody that's not the host, you need to back out to your own game after you've put the blood-soaked vow and the crop sample in there. And then you're good to leave to your own game, and you should be able to interact with the root even though you haven't put the crop sample or blood-soaked vow in your own game. You should be able to go back and still understand the root, and you should get the Cessation Bulbel. Now this amulet says activating a mod consumes all current shield. For every 20 shield consumed, increases all damage dealt by 4% for 10 seconds, max 10 stacks, which if you can figure out how to consume 200 shield and you can get 40% damage, then you're looking pretty good. All right, guys, that's it. All 4 things you can do with the crop sample. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.